as well as we're going to unveil the idea, the thoughts of Rogelio Sicat in writing the story of Tata Celo. In regard to this, I have here an editorial cartoon created by Bulatlat, and this editorial cartoon is actually related to the story that we were going to discuss for today. So, based on this picture, how would you relate this picture to the story of Tata Celo? Andreas,
Hello po, ma'am.
hello.
Hello po. Audible po ba?
Okay, so based on the picture, how would you going to relate this one to the story of Tata Celo?
Based po diyan sa ano po ba, editorial cartoon. Bale, ano po ba yun? Para pong merong scale tayong makikita. Tapos, hindi ko lang po masyadong kita yung nandun sa kabila. Pero, para pong mas may imbalance po tayong nakikita. Tapos parang the other side po yung nandun po sa background is, yun nga po, parang may isa pong official na we can say po na hindi po siya fully nakatingin or blinded po siya dun sa imbalance na nasa harapan niya na po. Yun po yung pinaka nakikita ko. Hindi ko lang po makita kung ano yung nandun po mismo sa mga scales. Medyo malabo po.
Okay, just to give another idea, but your answer is actually correct. But just to give another idea, this is the face of the justice system in the Philippines in regards to the in regards on how the justice system in the Philippines serve those privileged people and also those unprivileged people, and that is how it was related to the story that we will be discussing for today. So regarding with the story, we will be guided by our objective for today. So for today, we will going to expose the era of the fiction, kung kailan ba ito sinulat ni Rogelio Sicat, justify the focus of the fiction, evaluate the acts of the character, and compare the Philippine society then and now, as well as to give the fiction a satisfying ending. So for the first one, you were going to expose the era of the time when the story possibly took place or happened. So before we read or before I give you time to read again the story of Rogelio Sicat, we will going to give the definition of these different Filipino vocabulary words. Number one, paulik-ulik. Ano ang paulik-ulik? Paulik-ulik, Althea.
Good morning po. Siguro po yun po ay meaning po ay paulit-ulit.
Aside from that, sino nakakalam ng meaning ng paulik-ulik? Yes, Jenna.
Para pong hesitant or yung pong nagdadalawang isip po.
Very good. Paulik-ulik meanings pag-aalangan, pag-aatubili, o pagdadalawang isip. Next is taked. Kenji.
Kulungan po.
Very good. Estaked means jail or kulungan nung sinaunang panahon. Next naman, kabesa. Kabesa. Noel.
Pinuno po.
Pinuno or cabeza, this is a Spanish term means head. When putting in a context, cabeza, this is the title given to to the barangay captains nung unang panahon or most likely during the Spanish era. Next naman, tinungkod. Tinungkod. Ara. Ara, andyan ka ba?
Para Para po sa akin ang meaning po na ay ano, parang ginawa po.
Ginawa bukod doon. Sino yung tumaas kanina ng kamay? Yes, Cecily?
Ma'am, hinampas po ng tungkol yung case.
Very good. Tinungkod, meaning hinampas or being caned. Hinampas or hit with a wooden walking stick. Next naman, proprietaryo. Samuel.
Kung ang may-ari po ng negosyo.
Yes, proprietaryo meaning this is a business owner or person who always wants to have profits or benefits. Thank you so much, Samuel. Next naman is Lily. Ron.
Ano po, parang masinsinan o maingat na pag-uusap.
Bukod doon, ano pa? Noel.
Panggapas po ng palay or garit.
Very good. Lilik, this is a harvesting tools with a curved blade and teeth similar to that of a saw, utilized by the farmers harvesting their plants noong unang panahon sa kanilang mga bukid. And last one is na embargo. Trisha.
Nakumpiska po or nasamsam.
Very good. Na-embargo meaning legal prohibition na kumpiska based on the negotiation or usapan ng magkabilang party or magkabilang panig. So, since nabigyan na natin or we already give the definition of those highfalutin word utilized by Rogelio Sicat in his literary work, bibigyan ko kayo or I will going to give you 5 minutes to read the short story of Tata Selo, and we will going to continue our discussion at 8:22 a.m. Please read the story of Tata Selo, reflect, savor the flavor of the story itself, and reflect on the emotion that you're gonna feel while reading the story of Tata Selo. Okay, since it's already at 8:22, we're going to continue our discussion about this story of Tata Selo. A glimpse about this story is Tata Selo by Rogelio Sicat is a story about an elderly farmer named Tata Selo who is forced to give up his land to a powerful landlord named Cabezang Tano. When Cabezang Tano tries to evict him, Tata Selo kills him in self-defense. So we were going to have a series of questions under the different narrative convention. This is to assess your understanding about the deeper meaning of the story of Tata Selo. So for the first one, emotional appeal. So as you remember, emotional appeal, we already discussed about it. And emotional appeal, this is a technique used by the writer in making the readers to feel the emotion that they injected in the story itself. So for our first question, during the time or while reading Tata Selo, how do you feel about Tata Selo? Do you feel sympathy towards him or sadness towards him? Ara.
Hello po. Ang naramdaman ko po ay sadness. Gawa po ng siya po ay matanda na tapos may mga ganun pa pong nangyayari sa kanya. Yan lang
Thank you
po.
so Thank you so much, Ara. Sadness daw yung na-feel ni Ara. How about you, Andreas?
Para sa akin po ay simpatya po. Dahil po si Tata Selo ay yun nga po, yung lupa naman po sinasaka niya ay originally sa kanila. Kumbaga, nagkaroon lang po ng mga masamang pangyayari kaya nawala. Kaya po talagang, yun nga, naramdaman ko po yun dahil ang bigat po ng dinadala niya na kumbaga para pong wala na siyang nagiging ibang katulong.
Aside sa mabigat yung dinadala ni Tata Sel, yes, Hero, may gusto kang idagdag?
Ang akin naman po ay sympathy din. Dahil po hindi po patas ang ginawa ng si Cabeza. Na inagaw niya po yung, binabawi niya po yung lupa na kanila naman po dapat.
Thank you so much, Hero. So, regarding with your answer, Hero, you mentioned that you felt sympathy toward Tata Selo. Can you give the lines from the story that make you feel that way? Hero, can you give the lines from the story that make you feel that way?
Yun po ma'am, binabawi po niya ang aking saka. Yung ni Tata Sento. Yung saan
Okay.
pa po ako pupunta kung wala na akong saka. Yun na po.
Okay, so based on that line, you're going to see that there is some literary devices utilized by Rogelio Sigat just to make sure that he will going to convey the gravity or the gravity of the problems that the main character is actually experiencing in the story per se. On the next slide, we will be having a line analysis in relation to the question number 2, which is the lines that make you feel that way. And we were going to discuss the literary devices used by Sikat in order to evoke his readers' emotion. Regarding with the line analysis, I have here an example of the line coming from the story itself. Ayan naman na to PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. For instance, yung line sa pinaka-end part ng story, kinuha na sa kanila lahat, ang lahat ay kinuha na sa kanila. Or in English, everything was taken from them. So Rogelio Sicat injected a literary devices in this specific line. And that literary devices is called as a repetition. So the repetition of lahat, the term lahat, emphasizes the total loss and defense, the emotional impact of the story towards to its reader. Aside from that, repetition is a literary devices used in order to define the gravity of the character's problem in the story. So meaning, since Rogelio Sicat injected or utilized this kind of literary devices, it actually adds a flavor to the story itself. Hindi lang siya naging plain. Kumbaga nag-add pa siya ng mas mabigat na impact. Yung wordings niya, mas naramdaman to or mas na-savor to ng mga mambabasa dahil sa ni-utilize niya or ginamit niyang literary devices. So aside from repetition, meron din siyang ginamit na isa pang literary devices. So he utilized imagery, which is this is a descriptive language that creates a vivid picture in your mind while reading the story of Tata Selo. So for instance, the example that in the presentation, meron it have the word mahigpit, kupas, yung putod niya na yari sa matibay na supot ng asin. So those descriptive words help the audience or the readers to create or form a specific picture on their mind while reading the story of Tata Selo. So aside from repetition and imagery, the dialogue as a literary devices is also used by Rogelio Sicat. As you can see in the story the dialogue between Amang and Tata Selo, on which Tata Selo explained his side, what really happens during the time that they do have a confrontation with Kabesang Tano, and why does Tata Selo actually accidentally killed Kabesang Tano in the story. So again, based on the discussion of our first literary devices, what are those literary devices nga utilized by Rogelio Sicat in the story of Tata Selo? Ano-ano yung tatlo and describe it in your own words? Um, Ninyo,
Ma'am, medyo choppy po. Please repeat po the question po.
alin ang i-repeat ko? Yung question ba?
Apo, ma'am.
Okay. So based on our discussion, what are the three literary devices injected by Rogelio Sicat on his story, and describe it on your own words? Ninyo malinaw na ba?
Yes po, ma'am. Wait lang.
Okay. Call a friend if ever to help you.
If ever po, ma'am, I need ko lang po ulit yung mga literary devices po. Then, I can explain it naman po.
Okay. So, literary devices injected by Rogelio Sicat in his story is imagery, dialogue, and repetition.
So for imagery po, the use of this literary device to evoke the emotion is to captivate po the viewer's attention in general, to emphasize the visuals and overall aesthetic and feels, the mood and the colors, to actually evoke the emotion of the story itself. Where as for the other devices, it helps the viewers understand the overall context and feels, yung pagkakabigkas po nung sentences ng lines, and how it helps the viewers and actually the writers din po to interpret how they want to deliver the story of Tatang Selong and its context overall po.
Thank you so much, Nino, for your answer. So yes, those are the literary devices na napapansin na ang ginamit ni Hergel Sikat sa kanyang story with Tata Selo. So aside from that, we have here another question, which is if those, or if it were not written that way, if those literary devices was not utilized, do you think you will still feel the same towards Tata Selo? Samuel.
Sakitan po in that way, I think mahihirapan pong ma- ma-visualize po yung story po ni Tata Selo, since mas mahalaga po, since nagamit din po dun yung imagery, especially po if hindi po i-describe yung mga pangyayari po, parang mahirap po ma-visualize. So parang hindi po siguro yun yung mafe-feel ng mga readers. Yun po.
Very good, Samuel. Yes, like for example, additionally, if the story were actually not in that, were not written in that way, there is a possibility that maboboard tayo sa pagbabasa. The emotion that Rogelio Sicat wanted to evoke to her audience, hindi yun mangyayari. And also, the dramatic effect of the story itself to the audience will not gonna be successful. So yes, magiging ang magyayari lang dun sa story is magiging plain lang ito. And the theme itself, hindi natin siya maipaparating towards to his audience or readers. So since we are already done with the emotional appeal uh, part of the story, we're going to move on with the theme of the story. Okay. So since you've read the story, so what do you think does what reality does the fiction present? May reality ba doon sa story na yon na nangyayari pa rin ngayon or napapansin nyo na observe nyo na nangyayari pa rin sa ating paligid? Hold on, let me, hindi ko kasi kita yung mga nataas. Crystal.
Siguro po yung reality po. Dahil po yung mga
Crystal,
tao,
hindi kita masyado marinig.
wait lang po.
Okay, habang inaayos pa ni Crystal yung kanyang mic, Dimple.
Siguro po yung pagkakaroon po ng injustice when it comes to status po sa buhay. Kapag mahirap ka, lalo kang paghihirapin. Then kapag mayaman ka, ligtas ka po sa mga loss.
Thank you so much, Dimple. Yes, very good. Social injustice is actually this is the reality which is present in the story, and also the exploitation of the poor by those powerful people. It also highlights the struggles of the marginalized individuals and who are often oppressed and deprived of their rights and dignity. Yes, sino nga yung kanina? Crystal, okay na bang mic mo?
Kinig na po ako, ma'am.
Yes, narinig na kita.
Siguro po, ma'am, yung isa pong factor po ngayon ay kapag mahirap ka po talaga ay hindi po talaga naiiwasang gumawa po ng mga maling bagay para po makasurvive kasi po parang nagiging survival mode na nga.
Kumbaga, in other words, survival of the fittest. And also, yes, the story also reflects the socio-economic disparities and the lack of fair treatment between those people or privileged people and unprivileged people. Like what you can see on the editorial cartoon kanina on how they have been judged by the justice system here in the Philippines is actually unfair or unequal. So, hold on. So aside from those theme na binanggit ng mga kaklase nyo, O6, there, yeah, social injustice and equality, nabanggit na siya. Power and exploitation, nabanggit na siya. Next naman is family and sacrifices, on which the story also touches the familial love and sacrifice. Tata Selo action are driven by his desire to provide for his daughter named Sading, who is sick and dependent on him. Aside from that, the critic of the justice system is also present. So, Tata Celo's imprisonment and the lack of empathy from the authorities illustrate the biased nature of the legal system that favors the wealthy and powerful people. So those are the themes that Rogelio Sicat wanted us to know or wanted us to be aware of. And those themes, it was still um, evident in our society kahit sa panahon ngayon. So based on the answer of your classmate earlier, so the reality that is present in the fiction. So what makes you think about it? Is the author actually give you the clues to show you the theme? Meron bang clues na binigay si Rogelio Sikat para maisip niyo yung mga ganung theme? Bukod kay Andreas at Dimple, ano pa ba hindi ko naririnig dito? Rashida? Ganun ba i-pronounce ang pangalan mo? Rashida. Derek. Rashida and Derek, imamark ko kayo as absent today. Andyan pa ba kayo?
Hello po?
Yes. Okay. Rinig mo ba ako kanina? Or mahina ang internet
Puputol-putol
connection?
lang po sa akin.
Okay. Okay, Andreas, go ahead.
Ako na po, ma'am.
Yes.
Sa akin po ay ano, yes po, nagda-drop po ng clues yung author po about sa possible themes na makikita natin dun sa mismong story. Since ang una nga po, ang ni-utilize niya ay isang farmer na ang problem ay within the kabesa. So, nandun na po yung power po. Then, ah at up until sa dulo ay hindi po agad ma-explain kung bakit paano nga po ba yung nangyari at nagkakaroon ng tanungan within the presinto. Kaya po, yun, present naman po dun yung social injustice. Tapos at the same time ay yung family nga po since despite nga po ng ganun ay na pangyayari ay mas iniisip pa din ni Tata Selo yung kanyang pamilya na may iwan, especially nga po yung kanyang anak na si Saleng po na ayaw niya na lang papuntahin po dun sa precinct. So yun po, nagdadrop po ng clues po talaga para sa akin yung ah, author po. So kung saan po talaga yung pinaka-theme ng kanyang story na ibinigay.
Thank you so much, Andreas. Actually, yes, several elements in the story point to the theme of social injustice. However, it did not actually end on that way because there is character experiences presented by Rogelio Sicat. I mean, character experiences. Yung experiences ni Tata Celo, dealing with Cabezang Tano as well as experiences during the time of his arrest. Also, the dialogue and the repetition, it also dropped a hint or a clues regarding with the theme. And the last is the setting and the plot of the story. The setting and the istahed and the plot revolving around Tata Celo's desperate act of violence against Cabezang Tano underscore the extreme measures that oppressed individual might resort to when they are pushed to their limits. And it actually happened with the story of Tata Selo na kung saan dahil nga doon is nasaksak or napatay niya si Kabesang Tano. So regarding with all of the experiences of Tata Selo as a young person, what can you do about it? May magagawa ba kayo about it? Noreen.
Ano po, kasi yung person po, din po natin pakinggan po lahat ng panig kahit po ano po yung background niya. Dapat po maging fair po.
Thank you so much, Noreen. Aside from that, Aramay?
Sa tingin ko po as a young person po kung ano po ngayon yung nangyari kay Tata Celo, siguro po ang gagawin ko po ay i-distribute ko po yung kanyang kwento sa sa mga tao para maipamukha po sa kanila na super po ng justice po sa Pilipinas para magkameron po sila ng idea kung sino dapat yung iboto, yung mga ganun po.
Thank you so much, Ara. So, in other words, Ara, you're going to raise an awareness, share the story of Tata Selo about social injustice and his experiences or the experiences of a marginalized individual. So, as a young person, you guys do have several ways that you can address in order to combat the social injustice. First of all, utilizing social media platform to educate, advocate for change, and to raise an awareness regarding with the social injustice present here in our country. And that is Rogelio Sicat wanted you to do. Actually, as you, if napansin nyo dun sa story ni Rogelio Sicat, he also utilized the plot convention which is yung cliffhanger. Hindi niya tinapos yung story, hindi niya sinabi kung anong nangyari kay Tata Celo, kung ito pa is lumaya, nagkaroon pa ng change because Rogelio Sicat wanted to give as a chance to give this fiction a satisfying ending. But up until now, since still social justice or social injustice still present in the Philippines, we would not be able to give that fiction a specific or satisfying ending. So next, since we have already know the theme of the story, we will going to move on to the narration, to the different plot convention, narrative convention in the story itself. So based on what you read, Tata Celo, what do you think or what narration is used in the fiction? Um, did it actually use the first person point of view or the third person point of view? Ano yung ginamit ni Rogelio Sikat as a plot convention in writing Tata Celo Joshua?
Third person po.
Can you cite a specific line that will gonna justify your answer?
Nang sumapit ang 12:00, inihudyat iyon ng sunod-sunod na pagtugtog ng kampana sa simbahan na katapat lamang ng munisipyo. Ang umalis na ang alkalde upang mananghalian, naiwan si Tata Selo kasama ang hepe at 2 pulis. Gano'n po.
Thank you so much, Joshua. So, base or based on Joshua's example or lines from the story, Rogelio Sikat used a third-person limited point of view. This means that the narrator is not a character in the story, but an outside observer who describes the events and characters without being directly involved in the story itself. It is a third person limited because the narrator do not know the thoughts, the thinking, and the idea inside of the main character's mind. So, if there is a chance or if there is any other narration that will make this fiction more appealing, what do you think if that what if Rogelio Sikat use first person point of view? Magiging mas maganda ba yung story or mas mawawalan ito ng appeal? Bukod kay Trisha, si Lance, yung tumaas kanina.
Siguro po is first person po. Para po mas malaman po natin yung nasa loob po ni Tata Cielo kung paano, kung bakit niya po nagawa yung pagpatay po kay Cabeza po.
Very good, Lance. Yes, if the author used the first person point of view, it could potentially make the story more intimate and more emotionally engaging since malalaman natin the true reason why Tata Celo actually killed Cabezang Tano. So, do you think the reason is yung lupa lang talaga? Or there is another reason that pushed Tata Celo to his limits and killed Cabezang Tano? So, since you did mention that that this story, or we did mention that this story do not have a specific ending. Do you like the ending of the story and how do you say that? Nagustuhan niyo ba yung naging ending ni Tata Celo? Cyril.
Hello po ma'am.
Hello? Rinig mo ako?
Rinig po ma'am.
Yes, rinig kita.
Para po sa akin ma'am, parang hindi ko po nagustuhan kasi po nakita po yung ano po, yung injustice po na nangyari po para po kay Tata Cielo, ganyan.
Meaning, hindi mo nagustuhan because of the social injustice happened to Tata Celo, which is true. The ending of Tata Celo is poignant and truth-provoking. It leaves a lasting impact by highlighting the depth of Tata Celo's despair and the systemic injustices that he basis. The ending also effectively underscored the themes of social injustice and the plight of those people or marginalized individual. Since hindi mo nagustuhan yung ending, Cyril, if you are given a chance to end the fiction, how will you end it or how will it be?
Ano, para po sa akin mas maganda po kung yung ending po ay, magkaroon po ng justice po para po kay Tata Selo, like yung hinihingi niya po ng pabor po doon sa bumili po ng lupa sa kanya is maibigay po kasi po, parang para po matulungan din po siya na ano, makaahon sa buhay, ganyan po. Parang
So,
maging balanse po yung, karapatan po ng bawat tao. Pati maging matulungin po yung naman sa mahihirap, gano'n po.
so the ending that you wanted was somewhat idealistic, but in a realistic manner. Although yes, some people might add a glimmer of hope through adding additional character in the story to help Tata Selo, which is somewhat yeah somehow idealistic, but in a realistic manner, Eliza.
Good morning po. Kung ako po ang bibigyan siguro ng pagkakataon na bigyan ng kakaibang ending ang story, siguro po yung kahit magkaroon man lang nga po ng additional character na bigyan siya ng manananggol or lawyer in English para po, mamulat din ng mga tao na kahit mahirap ka, may pagkakataon ka rin na kumuha ng magtatanggol sa'yo para tumapat doon sa injustice na binibigay ng kalaban mo po.
Thank you so much, Eliza. Your answer is actually similar to the ending that I have found in my reference. So, alternative ending would be as Tata Celo sit in his cell, contemplating his losses. As a young lawyer visit him, the lawyer moved by Tata Celo's plight offers to take up his case. This new character represents a beacon of hope and the possibility of justice. So the story could end with Tata Celo looking up with a renewed sense of hope, knowing that someone is finally willing to fight for him and his right. Although this ending would still convey the harsh realities of social injustice, it also introduces the idea that change is possible, that there will be someone who is willing to help those oppressed people against those people who exploit their power, um, just to make sure to manipulate the justice system here in the Philippines. So, actually, nag-focus tayo sa themes, nag-focus tayo sa mga literary devices utilized by the author because the literary approach that will be given a highlight today is a formalism. So, formalism, this is a literary approach injected by Rogelio Sicat in the story. So, it all focuses on the rhetorical and logical connection within the writing. Moreover, formalists look into the sound and syntax of poetic language, rhyme, repetitions, and word picture. This criticism favors medium over content. Also, this criticism philosophically questions the method of communicating ideas and values expression. In another term, literary approach, which is the formalism, it focuses on the piece itself, the choice of word, and all of the literary devices injected by the author in order to make or to give such flavor to the story and also to evoke the emotion of its reader. Nagpo-focus to sa mga ginamit na salita. Yun ba is akma sa gusto niyang iparating sa mga audience. Kung paano niya ginawa or kung paano niya kinonstruct yung kwento niya. So, formalism, it focuses on forms. They look at the structure and the way the text is written rather than what the text is about. So, they look on the structure rather than the meaning of the story. Sound and syntax, they pay attention to the sound of the word like rhyme and rhythm and the arrangement of the word in a sentence. Rhyme, repetition, and imagery, they analyze elements like rhyme, schemes, repeated phrases, and see how this contributes to the overall effect of the text. So, in essence, formalism is all about appreciating the craftsmanship of the writing and understanding how the form and structure of the text contribute to its meaning and impact to its audience. So, in order to see how does Rogelio Sikat injected formalism, is we will going to answer these three questions under the formalist approach. So based on the story, what picture of or scenes or what pictures of scenes or places or things become vivid in your mind as they are described in the fiction? Meaning, based on the words used by Sika, can you imagine the setting or the place of the story? Ano yung mga nabanggit niyang places sa story? Hero.
Yung pong sa Zelda po.
Very good. One of the picture or one of the setting is yung sa Zelda or yung Estaked. Bukod doon, actually there are three. Meron na lang dalawa, Andreas.
Doon pong ano, yung sa may, ano ba yun? Pangalan? Sa may, sa may bukid po na yung nga pong setting, pinaka panimula po na kung nasan nga po si Tata Sai.
Very good. Yes, isa pa din is yung Tata Celos Farm or yung bukid. And the last one, may isa pa. Okay, go ahead. Kenneth?
Review po.
Very good. And the last one is the municipal hall. So those several vivid scenes or plays actually stand out because of the description given by the author itself. So do you think those picture or those plays do have a significant symbolism or significant meaning in the story? So what so based on the story, those places have meanings and symbols in the story. Like for example, the municipal hall symbolizes the power and authority. They are the it represents the systemic oppression faced by the lower class. Tata Celos Farm symbolizes the hard work and perseverance of the rural poor, and the jail cell represents the ultimate consequences of standing up against oppression. It also symbolizes the loss of freedom and the crushing weight of injustice. So So, yun yung mga naging meaning or symbolism ng mga places na, na inilagay or ini-include ni Rogelio Sikat sa kanilang or sa story itself. So, regarding with the incident naman or yung mga insidente included in the story like yung arrest ni Tata Celo, the authorities' action towards Tata Celo's arrest, and also the reaction of the community play a significant role just to make sure that the people will also gain the real theme of the story, which is the social injustice. So since we have already discussed regarding with the different parts of the story, the emotional appeal, the narration, the theme, and also how Rogelio Sikat utilized formalism in the story itself, we will going to moving on and do the 3-2-1 assessment to wrap up this discussion. So first, you need to cite three things that you have learned. Next, two questions that you still have regarding with the story. And last one is the one thing that is most interesting to you about the story. So for the first one, three things that you have learned, Lawrence.
Yes po, ma'am.
Three things that you have learned. Lawrence, ano ka, mute?
Yung three things na na-learn ko po dun sa kwento ay yung pagkakaroon po ng social injustice, tapos pagkakaroon din po ng bias po sa justice na kung saan mas pinapanigan nga po yung mayayaman, tsaka po yung kawalan po ng kamalayan po ng mga kababayan natin sa isang kapwa natin Pilipino.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. How about you? Question that you still have, Kayla?
Ang question po na meron pa sa akin is kung talaga po bang may sakit yung bata or yung anak ni Tata Celo kaya po siya nanghihina. And yung last po is kung makakalaya po ba si Tata Celo at matatapos yung injustice na sinasabi dun sa kwento.
For your first question, I will be able to answer that regarding with Salim. Actually, feminism is another literary approach used in the story. However, I did not give focus on that since we have already discussed about it during the discussion about Mabuti. So Salim, actually, before the story, Salim is siya is nangangatulungan or working in the house of Kabesang Tano. And that's why kanina tinanong ko sa inyo, do you think the reason why Tata Selo did actually kill Kabesang Tano is dahil lang pa talaga sa lupa? But the answer is no. Saling was sexually assaulted by Kabesang Tano. That's why Saling umuwi sila sa kanila. And because of that, Tata Selo um, he killed Kabesang Tano dahil din dun sa ginawa nito kay Salim. And your next question naman is, since Rogelio Sikat utilized cliffhanger as a plot convention, it depends on us on how we're going to give an ending to that story. So, hindi ko masasagot kung nakalaya ba si Tata Selo or not. Next naman, one thing that is most interesting to you. Ron.
Ang pinaka-interesting po sa akin ay yung ano, kung paano po pinakita dun sa kwento yung sobrang, ano tawag dito, yung sobrang unfair na pakikitungo ng mga otoridad sa mahihirap po.
Thank you so much, Ron. Do you think since we are all aware regarding with the social injustice present here in the Philippines, mawawala pa ba to? Or magbabago pa ba to?
50-50, ma'am.
Bakit?
Dahil lalo po sa para pong sa pagtagal ng panahon dumadami pa rin po yung mga taong mahilig manlamang sa kapwa. Kaya po mahirap pong sabihin kung mawawala ba or hindi.
Yeah, same with my sentiments as well. 50-50 talaga. Lalo dito sa Pilipinas, rampant yung corruption, power exploitation, and social injustices. So we are all done regarding with our analysis about the story of Rogelio Sikat Tata Selo. Kindly react for those people who have learned something for today. And this is just a few reminders. 3106, kailan tayo mag-meet? Friday? Tama ba? Sino ba ang class reps niya? Andreas, Friday na. Ang kinuha niyong schedule is 8 to 10 din, right? Tama ba?
Yes po, same time po nito.
So since ang 3105 is Friday 8 to 10 din, ganito ang ginawa ko. So 3105 would be Friday 8 to 9 and kayo naman is 9 to 10. So 1 hour lang siya. Hinati na lang. Okay lang ba yun?
Okay lang.
Reminder, please read the poem about a cherished daughter. So hindi na natin itatackle yung morning in Agripan. Tayo ay pupunta na sa Vietnam. So please read this poem and yun naman yung sunod nating topic.